WHTL, are you ready? From the deepest woods to the open waters, from the rocky trails to the snowy tracks, if that happens outdoors, we're talking about it. From fishing to hiking to hunting to trail riding, we cover it all. Brought to you by Petrick Service Station, Bolton Sporting Goods, Black River Express, Low Hardware, the Levis Drum Rail Riders, the Elk Ride and Gun Club, Triplo County Economic Development and Tourism, and the Associated Conservation Clubs with Triplo County. So tighten up your boots, check your hook, and fire up the engine. The adventure starts now.
Well, it is Thursday, everybody. Time to get outdoors, especially with bow hunting season right around the corner. And I got a very special guest with me today, Mike Gilbertson. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Brian. Thanks for having me. And by the way, let me congratulate you guys right away on your thinking outside of the box, because with the opening of archery season here, you've invited a guest that has limited knowledge about archery hunting. So I give you guys credit for going outside the box this morning.
Well, it's still more knowledge than me and Steve have. Other than we looked it up, it starts on Saturday.
It does.
So, and we were talking before we went on air. You know, a lot of people grow up with that hunting tradition in the family, like I did. But you said you didn't start hunting until nearly 60 years old.
Yeah, I bought my first bow license, or bought my first deer hunting license when I was 60. There were a couple of reasons for it. I think, first of all, I wanted to start spending more time with my growing sons. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's the rule on parenthood. When your children get to be about 19, if you want to spend time with them, you have to start doing things they like to do.
Yes.
Because you can't make them do what you want to do anymore. And I didn't hunt. No, my father was an only child. He didn't hunt. But my sons, my two oldest sons especially, got into it a little bit through some uncles and a grandfather. And so they started hunting. And so I got a bow and started hanging out with them a little bit. And that was about the biggest reason for it. The other reasons are simply I like venison a lot.
Yep.
Every time I've had a chance to eat venison, I've enjoyed it. So I thought, well, maybe I should start. And then I like being outdoors. Mm-hmm. And I was helping friends get, set up tree stands and cut down trees and things like that. And I thought, if I'm going through all of this work, well, heck, I might as well hunt.
Yeah.
So I got my first license when I was 60, and those first few years didn't go very well. My parents passed away one winter. I had a hip replaced one winter. But a couple years ago, I decided to commit a little more to it. And I shot my first doe when I was 63 with a crossbow. So, and I love it. I love sitting out there and talking to the squirrels and just watching wildlife and enjoying nature, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's like Jeff Larson was in here earlier, earlier this month, and we talked about, what he did with his kids in school is he would take them out in the woods, sit them down for 15 minutes, tell them, you just be quiet and sit here for 15 minutes. And it's amazing just that quietness and how many animals come out. And I think we take that into our adult lives because we spend so much time on our phones, being distracted, that getting out in that woods is...
I know for me, fishing is a lot the same. When I'm in a boat, there comes a time after being out there for, whether it's a half an hour or an hour, when all of a sudden you feel your shoulders relax and you realize that a weight is being lifted. And so it's good for the soul. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, that is so great. And so you said you do a little bow hunting, you do some gun hunting too?
Nope,
is it just bow hunting?
Bow hunt, crossbow, and fish. Looking forward to that, and probably doing some more fall fishing because the weather's good for that.
Yeah.
And then, ice fishing will follow that. But no, just been getting out and doing some bow hunting.
So the hardest type of hunting is what you do.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's technology has caught up so much that, if you think about it, the arrow is like the oldest form of weaponry. Okay, it's a spear.
Yep.
And then they invented a bow so that they could throw that spear even faster. So bow and arrow have been around for thousands of years. The bow and arrows that we shoot today are the best that have ever been made.
Oh, yeah.
And next year's will be better.
Yep.
And that's how technology is working. So it's, a lot of them, especially crossbows for me, are very user-friendly. And so, it's been fun.
Good deal. So I suppose you're going to get out this weekend then?
Yep. We'll be out Saturday, get out right away. And part of that too is, I think the other part about it is for those who hunt and it's the camaraderie that's the most fun. Sitting around afterwards, telling stories. And I think that's the best part of it, is to get together with different guys at camp, if you will, or wherever you gather, and just enjoy the hunt together. And I've been fortunate enough to hook up with a really good group of guys that know what they're doing and have been really helpful to me. And so, I'm really enjoying it. Looking forward to this weekend,
Yeah. Well, like you said, it is a lot about the camaraderie, too. Like when I was a kid, we used to go hunting from when I was 12, or 12, 14, whenever you get your hunting license. And it was always aunts and uncles would come. The aunts would stay in the house. The uncles and stuff, we'd all be out in the barn and stuff. And even if you didn't get anything, it was a good time sitting around and BSing with, the family members.
And that's the other part that's been really interesting and joyful to me, is that what you just said, most youngsters shoot their first deer. If they're in a hunting family, they may shoot their first deer when they're 14 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. I shot mine at 63.
Yeah.
But the point is, at age 63, I got to feel like a 14-year-old for a while, which is really cool in a lot of ways. I mean, it's just experiencing those firsts.
Yep.
No matter when you do them in life, I guess. It's that's kind of the fun part, I think, you know?
Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, to wait that long. Yeah, I was 14. I felt a little, when I first got that first deer, I felt torn by it. I felt bad that I took a life, but then it was like, by the time you get all that skin off, it's food. And then I do love venison. So I did take it. I took it for an advantage because we were hunters our whole life. So we had a lot of venison. So growing up, it was like venison again. But now that, I don't hunt, but my brother-in-law does, and he brings me venison all the time. It's like, it is a delicacy in our house.
Yes. And I think, a lot of small game is that way. And I like a lot of different small game when I have a chance. I think the secret to venison or any type of small game is how you prepare it, obviously. But not only that, how you take care of it after you harvest one.
Yeah.
And that's maybe something now, like this weekend, we were just talking, like you said, looks to be a little warmer again.
Yeah, in the 80s.
Yeah. And that's going to make a difference. I mean, if you do happen to harvest a deer on Saturday or Sunday, you're going to need to take care of it right away.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's beneficial to that is I think we live in an area where there are so many great wild game processors, if you will, meat processors, Blair Meat Service, Falls Meat Service, Blair Meat Market, I should say, Bushy's in Independence, Gunderson over in Mondovi. So there are plenty of places to store your doe Saturday night if it does get warm, and it looks like it's going to get warm.
Yeah, they're saying 60s for the low and 80s during the day. So if you get one, get it taken care of right away.
Yeah, that's going to be, and that was a major factor last year. There were plenty of times where I passed on doe just because it was whatever time it was, 6 o'clock, and it's like, if I hit this now, what am I going to do with it? I'm going to have to really hustle to get it taken care of properly. And I know we've had a conversation, or I have here before, with others who are much more knowledgeable again than I am about prepping your deer and stuff. And if you were to take 10 different guys and ask them if they know how to field dress a deer, they're going to all say yes. And they're all going to do it differently.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to learn how to do it the way that it needs to be done and get it taken care of as best you can.
Yeah, because you don't want to puncture any of those organs when you're in there. And I learned all that fun stuff the wrong way when I was a kid. So
and I've learned too. And I mean, it's painstaking sometimes. I mean, you have to be, but again, it's really worth it when you get it on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, so do you guys
hunt with a bunch of fellas out here around town that have been really good to me? My brother Tom has been really helpful for me, and a bunch of other guys that hunt and stuff, and we gather out at what's called the shed, and I mean, again, they've been helpful in equipment and knowledge and helping provide me a place to hunt. And, that's another thing that I think is relevant to people who are just starting to hunt, is that you can find, it's hard. It's, there's public land, but otherwise private land, is hard to come by sometimes. It can be expensive. If you don't own it, where do I hunt? But I just truly believe that if you get involved and develop relationships with people.
Yeah.
And offer, if not, a monetary exchange, but, if you know a farmer that could use some help chopping wood in the fall, and you can put in 2 days of that labor to help that family, in exchange for maybe being able to hunt a few weekends, I believe that there are those opportunities out there. You have to pursue them. You have to, like I said, develop the relationships and knock on doors and ask for permission. And I believe eventually you'll get it if you really want to do it. You know what I mean? If it's something you really want to do.
Yeah, and especially around this area. Yep. Everyone is so, it's kind of like a tight-knit family here in each one of these little communities and beyond. And so just get out there and ask some people and be respectful.
Knock on the doors and hang around a little bit and see what happens. Yeah, I believe it can happen.
Yeah, because it's that time of year. Get out in the woods. There's people, I know up by me, we have a lot of people who have hunting cabins and things, and I've been seeing them up there getting things ready for it, and it's right around the corner, and it's a good time of year. I don't hunt anymore because my dad ended up getting allergic to the hair on the deer. So like when that happened, it was kind of like, well, if Dad's not hunting, it was hard. So I think it's something I should pick up again. And you showed me that it can be any time in your life you can pick it up.
It can be done. The other thing that's really cool about this is I think, when you ask people, are you looking forward to hunting? I think all of us at a certain point start looking forward to fall.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to a change of the season, you know what I mean? And that's sort of what this signifies, if you will, because, hunting's here now. But, there's also small game opens this weekend, cottontail rabbit, and then squirrels. That opens this weekend. Turkey, there's a fall turkey season that opens this weekend. Duck hunting, and goose hunting opens this weekend. Some duck hunting. I'm not a duck hunter. But and so there are those sports opening this weekend too, or here in September. September's a big month for opening of season. Bear hunting started here just now at the first of the month in some zones. Again, that's broken up differently up north, but there are a lot of opportunities to get outdoors and hunt right now, and so. A little bit of something for everyone. Yeah.
Have you ever tried bow hunting? I've heard people doing it. Doing bow hunting turkeys with a bow?
Yeah. No, I have not.
I hear it's tough.
I've thought very seriously about getting a turkey license and starting to, but my wife says I have enough bad habits now, so I've tried to stay away from it. But I don't know. Maybe you never know. I have not tried it though. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a couple friends. They said it is tricky because it's hard. It's hard to sneak up on a turkey.
Right. Yes, it absolutely is. And it's one of those. Again, you drive down the road. And you see them in the field, and you think, my goodness, anybody can shoot these things. There's 25 of them sitting right in that. But no, as soon as you get out of the car, why, it changes. They know what's coming. Yeah.
Yep. They hear you sneaking up on them. So, well, you got some papers there.
Well, I'm just looking at my stuff. No, I was just making sure I was keeping track of all of the dates and things like that. The other thing, a license. License stayed the same, $24 for my archery license, and
that's
that gives
still pretty good. Yeah.
Well, to me, it's incredibly inexpensive.
Yeah.
If you're going to bow hunt, if your license is $24, you might have more money than that invested in broadheads. You know what I mean? Or lighted knocks.
Yep.
It's the least of your expenses. You've got $5,000 worth of gear in the back of your pickup. If they raise the price of a hunting license $10, I don't think it's very relevant. Yep. I do think if I had, and I'm not an expert again, but it feels to me, especially like Wisconsin's out of non-resident licenses are very affordable. Now, if you were to get a Colorado deer hunting license, it's like $500 for out of state. In Wisconsin, it's about $200.
Yep.
And so I think we're very welcoming to out-of-staters here. So I think if that's something that could be raised. But again, to me, when you look at the license part of it, that's probably the least expensive. And then with the archery license, you get a buck tag and 3 doe tags.
Yeah,
so you essentially have four tags, so you have plenty of opportunity, again, to harvest an animal.
Yep, and especially if you like venison, like you said, there's a couple opportunities there. And if you're looking for land, a lot of landowners, they just say, give me a half a deer, and that'll be it.
Yeah, there you go, too, And again, most, especially farmers, I mean, again, where we live, deer can cause crop damage. I mean, that's a part of the deal, too.
Yeah.
And, I think that I think also, there's one other factor that I think in this, looking ahead to this year's hunt, and maybe I'm wrong, but just guessing, the price of beef has gone up drastically.
God, yeah.
Okay, for those of you who've shopped, And I think you may see families taking one more deer this year and try and, cut back on having to go to the store.
Yep. Yep, because
we'll see.
You can do like my mom did when we were younger. She'd take a little bit of hamburger and mix it in with ground venison, and a lot of times you didn't even know.
No. And, I mean, again, it's versatile. I know people who can venison, who, I mean, you can, like you said, grind it up into ground venison, backstraps. I mean, I'm a big fan of ground venison because I think you can use it in chilies or soups or omelets or whatever, hot dishes.
Yeah.
And for those who, I mean, it's a healthy meat. It's a real healthy alternative.
It's nice and lean.
Yep. So, I mean, it's a good way to go. Yeah, I picked this up, my hunting regulations, for those who don't have one.
Yeah.
The DNR prints about a gazillion of these things, and they're all over. Pick them up and look at them. I mean, whether if you're interested in hunting, or even if you are a hunter, there's so much information in there that you're never going to be able to memorize it all, but if different scenarios or different events come up that you say, well, I wonder what the answer to this question is, you have a place to go for it because, like I said, they're handy to carry around.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Good idea. Well, we're running a little short on time.
Yeah, I was late here this
that's
morning.
Okay, Mike.
Forgot the time already. But
you're not used to getting up so early in the morning.
I'm not. And if I am, I'm used to getting up and drinking coffee and stuff. So
that's the way to do it. So Mike Gilbertson, thank you so much for being here, sir.
You're welcome. Good luck this weekend to everybody. I mean, stay safe and do the important things. Oh, that's one other thing. Always remember the other thing I should mention, if I'm the voice of it, there are certain weekends and certain weeks where there are youth hunts going on and things like that, and you need to wear blaze orange, even when you're archery hunting. Make sure you're aware of that, and all of that information's in here too.
So find one of those guides, pick it up, get all that information.
There you go.
All right, Mike Gilbertson.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep, thank you so much for being here. We're going to keep the music going with Little Starship. We built this city.
We built this city.